scrimmaged here in the stadium in the sunshine. The most applause in the scrimmage was for their punter, a young freshman, because the kicking game is very important.
The kicking game last year, Bo called it the worst in the country. He said it couldn't get any worse. Don Bracken, number 28, is the punter, a freshman from Thermopolis, Wyoming. Nobody ever heard of it, but he is expected to do a great job. He is a 1.5-step kicker. Haji Sheik will handle the placements. His accuracy has been worked on all summer long. We expect the kicking game to be, well, 100% better.
Northwestern last week put 9 quick points up against Illinois, wound up losing, however, but they put those points up, if they do, usually through the air.
There's no question that Northwestern's offensive thrust has to be through the air because offensively up front, they don't have the line to block for the run. So when they do throw it, Mike Kerrigan's an outstanding young quarterback, and the guy that will catch it mostly will be Todd Sheets, number 26. Sheets was last year's second leading receiver in the Big Ten. He is one of the few real honest-to-God Big Ten players on the Northwestern squad. We should see a lot of him today.
But if this game runs true to form, Bo Schembechler is 7-0 against Northwestern. Rick Venturi is 0-2 against Michigan. We should see the Northwestern defense on the field a lot.
When we see the Northwestern defense on the field, we'll see linebacker Chuck Kern. Again, he is one of the real quality players in the Northwestern squad. Last year led the Big Ten in tackles. He had 31 against Purdue, including a sack and a pass interception. So Chuck Kern is another one of those real quality players on the Northwestern squad. But again, the Northwestern defense is on the field a lot. But anyway, 31 tackles against anybody is a great game.
We'll see what happens in the weather and the rain here at Michigan Stadium as they get ready for the kickoff right now. Deep backs for Northwestern, Ricky Edwards, number 3, and Tim Hill, 23. Ali Haji Sheik to kick off for Michigan. So we will get, well, not really one of those kicking questions answered because Sheik kicked off well last year. It was field goals that caused him problems, usually with enough length, but offline.
We'll be looking for accuracy on extra points and on field goals if Michigan has any need to kick field goals. As we said earlier, we expect Michigan's offense to be very impressive today. That is the strength of their team this year. An offensive line that is really outstanding, maybe the best that Schembechler has ever had.
Thought they were waiting for the rain to stop, and that would take a long time. The official talking to Sheik has the football in a towel wrapped up, but it won't do much good as hard as it has rained all morning here in Ann Arbor, and the field has been squeegeed, but as you can see on the sidelines, the water buildup, and that means it'll be tough to run sweeps and make cuts.
Absolutely, and that's why I think that Northwestern will have to go to the air. But again, the footing is the key here. The rain is held up. It's just a slight drizzle now, which isn't too bad. But it's the footing as we get ready to start it off.
Sheik's kickoff goes deep. Picked up by Todd Jenkins. Tim Hill. Tim Hill straight up. 25, 26-yard line. They'll mark it. 1st and 10, Northwestern. 27 yards on the kickoff return. Marion Body on the tackle. Set the backfield for Northwestern. Kerrigan, the quarterback. Callaway and Cone, the running backs. The Horick split wide right. As Northwestern runs its first offensive play against Michigan. Shift moves Cone out on the wing to the left. Straight ahead for Callaway. Good opening. He cracks it up near the 30. Fumble. Players from Michigan think they've got it.
Mike Turgovac fell on the loose ball, and the gamble of Bo Schembechler early to kick it off and let the defense play has paid off as Michigan gets the first turnover of the game, and they're in great shape now on the Northwestern 34-yard line.
Boy, that is a tough thing to happen as Callaway cracked through there and had a good gain up to about the 34-yard line.
Let's take a look at it, Larry, and see who caused the fumble. You see the good hole. Well, we didn't see the fumble as Michigan gets ready for the first offensive possession.
Butch Wolfalk slips and falls, trying to find an opening on the left side. Gains maybe 4 yards. 29-yard line of Northwestern. 5 yards make it 2nd and 5.
Again, an example of the footing. Butch had some open territory. I think on a good day he might have been gone and off to the races.
Backfield for Michigan. Hewlett at quarterback. Edwards the fullback. Wolfolk is the tailback. Anthony Carter is the wingback, split wide to the right. Edwards, the inside man, pulls down inside the 25-yard line. He is the runner that Bo Schembechler likes at fullback, but he is not the blocker that Bo would like to have in front of his tailback.
And Bo said he will not play anybody at fullback unless they can block. And I remember a few years ago when I was playing, Stanley Edwards, or rather they tried to make Glenn Dowdy a tailback and Billy Taylor a fullback. That never worked. And now they have two tailbacks in there, basically, but Edwards is playing fullback.
Set in an eye, Woolfolk the deep man, Carter again split wide right. Ends are both in tight this time as Hewlett gives to Edwards, almost broke away, dropped the ball at the 20-yard line. Edwards got back on top of it. They're going to call it the 21-yard line. Chuck Kern on the tackle for Northwestern. But that's a first down.
We can see the footing on the field is the problem. They have, I think we're going to see a lot of just straightforward football here. Handoffs between tackles because the footing around the ends is so treacherous.
The other problem, hanging onto the ball. Edwards even dropped it, but managed to get it back after Callaway had dropped it for Northwestern. Woolfolk this time, the deep back, shreds one tackler, but can't get past Jerome Woods. And Bobby Anderson up from the free safety spot. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 for Michigan at the Northwestern 17-yard line. The strategy of kicking off, Jim, really easy and a smart move by Schembechler, and he got that very quick break on the early fumble.
Well, he gambled. He said, we'll kick it off even though we won the toss, let the defense go to work. The gamble paid off.
This time they split Alan Mitchell left and Anthony Carter right, and the handoff is to Woolfolk. Big opening. He slipped one man, but coming up quickly is Chuck Kern, the linebacker. Got across, hauled him down.
Well, we talked about Kern at the top of the show. He is an outstanding linebacker, one of the real players for the Northwestern Wildcats. Last year was the Big Ten's leading tackler, and again, he spends a lot of time on the field because the Northwestern offense does not do that well, as we've seen here in the early going. Northwestern's offense has been on the field for one play, and it has been Michigan's offense really going between the tackles against the Northwestern defense.
Pickup of a yard, make it 3rd down and 4 at the 16 of Northwestern. I formation, Carter split to the left. Hewlett lobs one for Woolfolk, too far, incomplete. That'll make it 4th down, and we may get a chance to see Ali Haji Sheikh in a field goal attempt. No, the situation was Hewlett. Yep, now it is. Hewlett thought he was going to get a call, and he clapped his hands. He was excited about a 4th down opportunity. Instead, out comes the field goal kicking unit.
As we said, our first look at Haji Sheikh, and the accuracy is the key. There's no question of the strength of the leg.
23 yards, 33 yards in all if he can make this from the right hash mark. Good, and that's the first good sign as Michigan takes a 3-0 lead on Northwestern early in the first quarter.
Let's just say right now that is one of the biggest cheers you'll ever hear this year for a Michigan field goal, because last year 100,000 people in this stadium many weeks saw nothing go right for Michigan kickers, and Haji Sheikh's first has got to give him great confidence now. I think as the Michigan kicker, he will establish himself. I think he'll feel more confident, and I think he'll do an outstanding job.
Sheikh goes after it again, lower, and a line drive, and right down the middle, fielded at the 5-yard line by Hill, straight ahead, really rocked. Mel Owens delivered that hit. Jerry Berge was also near the bottom of that pile. 1st and 10, Northwestern, starting at their own 27-yard line.
Take a look at the kickoff. We see Tim Hill at the bottom of your screen, and up on the top of your screen is number 3, Ricky Edwards. The kick is a one bouncer, and these are easier to field on a wet field because it comes up. Now watch Owens come in and just deck him right there. Great hit by Mel Owens, linebacker.
Northwestern on the snap. Handoff to Callaway again. This time he hangs on to the football and gets it up near the 30-yard line, a gain of 3. Robert Thompson, outside linebacker, tackled for Michigan. There's pretty efficient use of 3 minutes.
Absolutely, and it was, I think, probably most impressive that Sheikh got the field goal through. That's the one thing that Michigan has been concerned about, well, ever since last year. It's been a winter long of wondering about the kicking game.
2nd and 7 Northwestern. Kerrigan has wing back split. He shuffles his backs now as Cohn goes out on the left side, and a handoff is straight ahead again. Fullback Mishler. Mel Owens comes over to cut him off. Dave Mishler, the senior fullback for Northwestern, gets the first down.
Seeing a bit of a pattern here develop. Northwestern's offense, Larry, between the tackles and the first 2 plays of their second possession have moved very well. And I think at that point we've got to be somewhat concerned about the interior of Michigan's defense. That's what they've had to work on. They lost big Curtis Greer from last year, and the interior of the Michigan defense is somewhat questionable, at least at this point.
Now in the I set, Mishler up front, and Cohn is the deep back. And again, it's Mishler banging straight ahead almost to the 40. That would be a 2-yard gain. Dave Niccolo in on the tackle with a lot of people. 96 Niccolo, and peeling up off the bottom is 77 Mike Turgovac. They're spreading Michigan's defense out with the wingbacks and the flankers and the shifts, but basically they're just running power football.
Well, I think one of the keys is that gives the linebackers a lot more things to think about. They run trips receivers. One of those linebackers has got to get back in the drop zone to stop the quick hook pattern. So that's why they're being successful through the middle.
Here it is again. Receivers split on both sides. Cohen is the man in motion as he goes out to the left side. And being chased. Just barely got it away as Marion Body had a line on him and really came hard. That is another thing that Bo talked about. His defense gambling a little more and doing some things to make things happen.
I think we saw a real big gamble there as a defensive back safety came through on a blitz, figuring that Northwestern would go to a pass. And you'll see Body coming in from the bottom of the screen. Actually, the Northwestern offensive line didn't help much. He came in from the outside. He forced Kerrigan to throw the ball early, and of course Kerrigan had no chance to complete the pass with Body hanging on his arm.
Tony Kelsey, the middle guard, and Mel Owens were not far behind Body as we go with a 3rd and 9 situation. Draw play given to Mishler, and he bangs it up near midfield but short of a first down. Andy Canavino cut him off at the 46-yard line of Northwestern.
Once again, somewhat of a concern, Larry. The running of Northwestern has been successful through the middle of the Michigan defense. That's where they've had some rebuilding to be done, but they had a big, long 3rd down play. The draw worked well, but not well enough. They're forced to kick.
John Kidd is the punter for Northwestern, standing on his own 31-yard line. Anthony Carter is the deep back from Michigan. Easton's fair catch at the 16 does just that.
I think, Larry, that Anthony Carter will be signaling for a lot of fair catches on punts today. We actually were surprised to be seeing him playing today because of an injury to his shoulder.
Michigan was unable to move the football, so we pick up action later in the quarter. There's the freshman, Don Bracken, the punter that Michigan looked for, and actually wasn't their first choice as far as recruiting goes. 3rd or 4th choice overall, but watch him kick. Right through it and into the end zone, and you heard the reaction from this crowd, so familiar with the problems that Michigan had, but young Don Bracken just made about 75,000 friends.
I think that there's no question the kicking game has improved somewhat. Don Bracken, a freshman, as we said at the top of the show, from Thermopolis, Wyoming. Bo really likes him. He's a good kid, and he kicks extremely well. One of the things we talked about, he's a 1.5-step kicker. Watch him get it off. He stands with a right foot in front, takes his lead step with a left foot, and the right foot comes through, and he's gone. And a beautiful kick right down the middle through the end zone. So the kicking at 47.5 yards that time is in good hands with Don Bracken.
1st and 10 Northwestern at their 20. The I formation. This time the deep back. Cohen gets it and doesn't get very far. Turgovac in on the bottom of that pile along with Niccolo.
I think maybe the defensive coaches had a few words with the Michigan defense, Larry, as the interior has really picked up the play, and at least on that play. Whereas Northwestern was getting 3, 4 a crack. They just got 2, maybe 1.5 that time.
2nd and 8 Northwestern. Kerrigan splits his backs and his receivers. Cadence tried to get Michigan offside. Throwing in the wing to Cohen. Nice catch, but no running room after he caught that ball. Too much time wasted trying to make that catch of a low throw. Brian Carpenter made the tackle. No gain. Still 8 yards to go. Only now it's 3rd down.
Take another look at that one, and we see one of the earmarks of Michigan's defense coming here in this play. Great pursuit and extremely good quickness getting to the football. He is out there, and watch, 3 or 4 people are on him right now. There you see Carpenter, number 9, coming in underneath to make the hit.
3rd and 8 from the 22-yard line. Man in motion. Kerrigan to Cohen on the sweep right. Good blocking and an opening for Cohen up over the 30-yard line. He got the first down. Brian Carpenter made the tackle, but Dave Cohen made the necessary 8 yards plus 1.
Cohen led Northwestern in rushing last year as a freshman. He had 426 yards in 8 games, and you see him there. Really not much to that running, and the fact that he got a big hole. And that's the key to any offensive back. If you can get the big hole, anybody can run through it.
1st and 10. Northwestern has it out now at their 31-yard line. Cohen runs up into the slot right. Handoff straight ahead to Mishler. He hurdles a man to the 35-yard line. Mel Owens, Andy Canavino among the tacklers for Michigan. Impressed with Jeff Cohen. I like the catch he made, Jim, when a low pass, and I like the run he made. He picked that hole pretty well.
Both teams are running between the tackles, and I think their backs are feeling, hey, we've got to rip and tear in there in between the tackles in order to make yardage, because outside you can't take an angle at the hole and make a cut. You've got to run straight at it and get through it, and Cohen did an excellent job that time.
2nd and 5. They go back into an I formation. Cohen is the deep back, takes a pitch. Hit nicely by Andy Canavino right at the 35-yard line. No gain on that play. A down goes by without a gain at all.
Canavino led Michigan in tackles last year with 151. He had 94 solos, and you got to consider that being awfully good since Ron Simpkins was in the lineup. An All-American, an outstanding player, and Canavino yet led the team in tackles.
By the time you got there, there had to be either Canavino or Simpkins there already. Just 2 minutes left in the first quarter. And the rain has stopped and a little daylight peeking through, but a heavily overcast day. 3rd and 5. Kerrigan has a lot of people split, backs and ends, and he's throwing to Cohen. He splits Canavino, but won't get the first down, out of bounds, short of the 40-yard line. That's difficult on a defensive player making a line to run over and make the tackle. A good cut, good jump by a back, and you can be gone.
Well, you see the versatility of Canavino. He is in there in a linebacker position around the center. He gets outside to the linebacker. As a linebacker, he gets outside and makes the stop. Here's Todd Sheets. Rather, we'll go to the punter here.
John Kidd hit one, and it's a beauty. Anthony Carter at his own 16-yard line. Going to run it. Got a good side of the field. Anthony Carter's safe at home. I formation. Same backfield. Hewlett, Edwards, and Wolfhook in that order. Edwards inside. Had an opening, closed rather quickly. He may have gotten 3. Bambauer, one of the first tacklers to get there. We could say Chuck Kern almost every time and be safe. He'll be around the ball. That fine linebacker for Northwestern, number 21. 2nd down and 6. Michigan at their own 39-yard line. I formation again. Mitchell this time is split at the bottom of your screen. A little spin around by Hewlett. Pitch out. Wolfo. No, it's Rick. Big opening for Ricks before Bobby Anderson knocked him out of bounds in Northwestern territory.
Wow, the play almost didn't get off because I think maybe Rich took too many steps back there. He got his feet kind of tangled up. Watch him. I think he pivots the wrong way. Just barely gets out of the way, but this is Hewlett's forte. He gets the ball out on the option and makes the decision on the end, and Ricks had a big hole out there to get through. Good yardage for Michigan on the first option play of the game.
1st and 10 at the Northwestern 45-yard line. Hewlett to throw. Got an open man, Anthony Carter. to the Northwestern 23-yard line. And Anthony is delighted with that. Roosevelt Groves made the tackle, but Carter was wide open.
I'll tell you what, Anthony Carter, as we said, surprised to see him in there today, but Bo wants to get him the football. We'll see the play again. First of all, Carter is wide open. Hewlett takes a good drop. He gets good protection, and Carter is wide open, and he gets hit by Groves and knocked down on the wet grass. But I'll tell you, Anthony Carter in this lineup is nothing but dynamite for the offense of Michigan.
1st and 10 at the Northwestern 23-yard line. Ricks gets the handoff, is met by Chuck Kern, but he's going to get some yardage, 3, maybe 4, as time runs out in the first quarter. Michigan leads Northwestern 3-0. 2nd and 5. Michigan on the move again. A first quarter field goal has had them in front pretty comfortably since the opening 3 or 4 minutes of this game. And they are making a good move now on the legs of Lawrence Ricks and the arm of Rich Hewlett, who had one easy pass. There is Rick Venturi, man with a difficult task in year 3 at Northwestern. All right, Carter comes wide right. In the eye, it's Edwards who gets the handoff inside. There's the opening. Edwards lost the fall. It's free. Northwestern got there first, and they have recovered at their own 11-yard line. First break for the Wildcats, and they really needed one. Bill Gildner got on top of that ball as it popped right out of Edwards' arms, and there wasn't a Michigan man even close to it.
Stanley got hit a good lick, and I think what happened was he got hit with the helmet on the football, and it popped out. Again, Schembechler is a stickler for detail. He will not like it. We'll see Stanley. He's got a pretty good hole, and he gets through. He's got both hands on the ball, but there is the hit. Number 80 is the guy that caused the fumble. That is Chris Hinton, 6'4", 210-pound sophomore.
1st and 10, Northwestern at their own 11-yard line. They've got back split to the left and in a I formation. Handoff fullback Mishler straight ahead. Gets near the 15-yard line. Mel Owens leading the Michigan tacklers. He has him around the ankles. Dave Nicolau has him on top.
Take a look at the first quarter statistics. I think probably Bo is a little upset with the 42 yards rushing Northwestern has made. I'm sure he's happy with the Michigan performance, except for the mistakes and the fumbles.
Well, that happened in the second quarter. He'll be happy with the first quarter.
I don't think 64 yards is going to make him happy.
2nd and 7. Straight ahead, Mishler again. Northwestern not wanting to gamble in this field position inside their own 20-yard line. But that just means they're going to have to kick it away, and Michigan will wind up near midfield with the ball.
That's the thing I wonder about. I was just going to ask you, do you think that's wise strategy for Northwestern? Okay, they're in a hole, yes. They've had a big turnover, and yet they're playing conservatively now. You should try to get out there and make something happen against this Michigan defense, because running in the middle and getting stopped for 2 yards is going to only give the defense confidence.
Jay, jump back in the eye. Cohen goes deep. Kerrigan is the quarterback. Mishler the fullback, and Cohen looking for an opening. Gets it up over the 20-yard line. Still not enough for the first down. It'll be 4th down, and Northwestern will have to go back to kicking that ball away.
Let's take a look at the Michigan defense. Mike Turkovac has moved from middle guard to tackle this year, and he is one of the really outstanding defenders on that front four for the Wolverines. They're angling down toward the football, and Turkovac will go with his inside shoulder. It beat the head of the offensive blocker, and watch him as he gets into the play. Mike Turkovac, just an outstanding defensive lineman for the Wolverines.
John Kidd sends a punt back to Anthony Carter at about the 33-yard line. He slipped one man, gets down the sidelines, but not very far, and really gets rolled over by 3 Northwestern Wildcats. The last one got there maybe a little bit late. After a turnover, we pick up the action later in the quarter with Northwestern in possession. 1st and 10, 48-yard line of Northwestern. I formation. Deep back is Cohen. Tries to make cut. Rams into Michigan territory. Make it a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Again, I would question the call by Rick Venturi, in that his team just got a turnover. They are up. They're feeling good about what's happening here this afternoon, and he runs it in between the tackles. I think if he tried to get a big play going, the Wildcats could turn into Wildcats.
2nd and 6. Give him 4 on that last play. Man in motion. Bahoric taps the quarterback. Kerrigan on a sweep left. Cohen running out of room. Big loss of yardage there. Gergash. Bob Thompson, 99. All there to spoil that sweep.
Robert Thompson makes a great play. He's the outside linebacker. Watch him. He'll spread out 3 guys, and he will not let him turn inside, and then he stays outside to make the stop. He made sure that the guy could not go inside because of the inside pursuit, and then he fought off 2 blockers to make the tackle. Outstanding play by Robert Thompson, number 99 for the Wolverines.
A junior that got away from Illinois. 3rd and 10. Lost the game they had made. Kerrigan to throw. Has the time. Over the middle open, and it's complete. First down as he hit Bahoric. Dave Bahoric inside the Michigan 35-yard line.
The key to the play was that Northwestern picked up the blitz. Watch it as they go back. Canavino will come in here on the blitz, and he is picked up by the back, and that gives Kerrigan the time, and over the middle, a tough pattern to cover when you've got that much time to run the pattern. Carpenter is on his back, but the completion is made. Northwestern now inside Michigan territory.
1st and 10 at the Michigan 34. Jeff Cohen made the block. He's impressed me now with some good runs and that block on Canavino. Fullback Mishler, big opening. He busts through to the Michigan 21-yard line. That's a first down. Thompson made the tackle, but that opening was huge, and Mishler just got through it and had nothing to do but run straight ahead.
Well, again, straight through the middle. The middle guard is blocked. The tackle is thrown outside, and he's into the secondary before anybody can get to him. Thompson comes from his backside linebacker position to make the stop on Mishler.
Northwestern driving with a chance to take the lead. It's Michigan 3, Northwestern nothing. 1st and 10, Wildcats now at the 21-yard line. Kerrigan to Cohen. Cohen is wrapped up and spun down. Tony Kelsey, number 97, had him right from the start. Kelsey, a little middle guard.
Yes, he's a little guy, much like Michigan has had in the past. Henry Hills and the Greg Ellis's. Turgerback, probably the biggest middle guard Michigan has had. Jeff Cohen, we take a look. He's had 117 carries for 426 yards last year. Now that was the Northwestern Wildcats' leading rusher. And today he has shown us really good running skills and also an all-around back. He caught a good pass and made a great block on a blitz.
On a 2nd and 9, Kerrigan has backs in the eye. Cohen, no running room as he gets just over the 20-yard line, back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 9, I think 8-yard line more like it. That was an 8-game season for Cohen last year as he was injured.
Yes, he was. Michigan gambling a little bit. You see Canavino coming in there making the first hit on a blitz, and Turgevac jumping on top. We talked about it earlier in the show, the fact that Michigan has said they will gamble somewhat this year on defense, more than they did last year. That play, getting down close toward their goal line, Michigan sent both linebackers, and Canavino made the stop as Northwestern takes a timeout.
At the Michigan 19-yard line, it is 3rd and 8. Northwestern, man in motion, Bahoric. Cohen on the sweep to the right. There's room for Jeff Cohen, but the tackle is made by Marion Body, who came up very quickly and made a good hit on Jeff Cohen.
Big defensive play by Marion Body. He was being blocked, and he came through the block. It looks right now that Cohen's got a lot of room outside, and he can turn it up. But Body, who is blocked, gets off the block right there and makes the great hit, stopping him from getting around the corner and possibly getting into the end zone because Body was the last guy there.
4th down on the Northwestern. Jay Anderson looking to attempt a field goal from the 25-yard line. A 35-yarder, if good, and it is. The Wildcats tie the score here in Michigan Stadium at 3. Edwards and Anthony Carter are the deep men to receive the kickoff from Northwestern. It's Anthony Carter for 1-yard line. Some blocking. Carter, 30-yard line. 29 yards on that return. Michigan will start at their 31st and 10.
Anthony Carter ran into his own man. He might have, if he could have cut quickly left or right on that play, there's a possibility that he might have gone a little bit further. Carter gets it on the one, and they've got a return set up. He gets a quick hole, finds the daylight, and then runs into a blocker. And boy, if he wouldn't have done that, could have made a cut and got into the open, AC might have been gone.
First and 10, Michigan, their own 30-yard line. Hewlett keeping on the option. There's a big opening. Hewlett, the 47-yard line. 17 yards for Rich Hewlett and a first down for Michigan.
The option play, I think, will open up the inside, too. They have been trying to go between the tackles. Northwestern, with really good interior people on defense like Chuck Kern, has stopped Hewlett from using the people inside between tackle to tackle. Once they soften them up a little bit around the perimeter, I think the inside will open up, and we can see either Woolfolk or Ricks or Gerald Ingram, who's in there now at fullback, break a couple.
Edwards, the fullback, jumps one tackler and bangs into Northwestern territory to the 44-yard line. Gerald Ingram. Ingram, the ball carrier, number 35.
Again, I think a little bit more concerned now about the outside play, and you see the big hole open up inside for Ingram. Very simply blocked play in that it was a trap. The backside guard pulls, knocks the tackle out. The middle guard is double teamed, and there's a big hole if he can get the linebacker blocked.
Second and 1. Fumble. Hewlett picks it up and is really dropped right away. Chris Hinton was there. Richard Moore also there.
The most critical handoff in football. Center quarterback exchange. We'll take a look at it. You cannot let this happen because it's like losing a down. You gain no yardage, and that's just little simple mistakes like that are what Schembechler abhors. I'm sure in the halftime he's going to have a few choice words to say to his Wolverines.
Third down now, 2 yards to go. 45-yard line of Northwestern. Happened again. Lost another yard as the snap came up. Hewlett couldn't handle it. It is 4th down and 3.
Now that's hard to imagine. Lilja and Hewlett have been working together all day. You can see Schembechler is very, very upset. You can see the ball never gets into Hewlett's hands, and he's just got to dive on it as the Wolverines now are forced to punt after 2 mistakes, and Bo right now is none too pleased.
John Bracken is back for his second punt of the day. 47 yards on the first one. Todd Sheets, who we have not heard from, is back. A low snap from center, but a great kick. Absolutely great, right through the end zone. Fielded that on one hop and booted it out. The young man is so much for the pressure of kicking in front of a lot of people and taking bad snaps and wet weather and anything else we can think of.
Let's just say that Thermopolis, Wyoming can be very proud of Don Bracken after his first 2 punts here this afternoon as he plays his first collegiate football game in front of a big crowd at Michigan Stadium in the Big Ten. He's a find.
Another 46-yarder. Northwestern, in a similar vein to the way Michigan scored, used 4 minutes. Michigan used 3. Went further, 51 yards to 34, and about the same number of plays, but all it has done is to tie the score.
Back on the field, Larry, we've got a big penalty against Northwestern that gives Michigan a first down. Let's check the official. What happened on the kick? Do you know what that is? I don't know what that signal is. I've just been told by our statistician that that is illegal participation, and I salute the umpire back.
Well, it takes away the punt, but it gives Michigan back the ball, and that may make Bo feel better. It certainly makes the crowd here in Ann Arbor feel better.
Let's hope they can get the center quarterback exchange now.
First and 10 at the Northwestern 31-yard line. Hewlett to Ingram. No running room as a fired-up Wildcat defense responds to a bad break for them. Stasowitz, their nose guard, getting in on the tackle that time. Is that too many men on the field, Jim, or?
I don't know. It might be. I think it is. Too many men on the field is illegal participation. Why don't they just say too many men on the field?
That would make it a lot easier for us. 2nd and 10. No gain on the last play. Hewlett to throw. Carter is waving, but the open man is complete as Norm Betts, the tight end. No catch. Official says no, he did not make a reception at the 15-yard line. Norm Betts disappointed about that.
First play action pass we've seen, and again, it is off the option. You'll see Hewlett come out. He'll fake the option coming this way, both backs into the line. He makes the throw. Now we'll see. We can't see because his body shields it. It looked like the ball was thrown a little bit behind him, and Hewlett didn't get it in there as Betts was running toward the sideline, threw it behind him. Betts had to drop down, but apparently dropped it. The official right on it.
3rd and 10, 31-yard line of Northwestern. Ricks looking for daylight. He's found some. Out of bounds at the 17-yard line, first down. Lawrence Ricks tiptoeing to find an opening over the middle. It wasn't there, but it developed on the right side, and he made the most of it.
Give Lawrence Ricks the credit for that gain. The play was not blocked well at the line of scrimmage, and Ricks just looked inside, said, hey, there's nothing there. I got to make it on my own. He went outside. He found some room, and you can see Ricks right there looking in, saying, hey, there's no room. I got to go somewhere else. Finds a hole outside, turns good speed on, and then just puts his head down and heads north and south. Good run by Lawrence Ricks.
1st and 10. Northwestern, 17-yard line. Hewlett to throw. Carter in the corner. Michigan goes back on top as Anthony Carter takes a touchdown reception, 17 yards from Rick Hewlett.
Okay, give the credit to Lawrence Ricks. 1, he picked up the blitz of Chuck Kern beautifully. 2, unbelievably perfectly thrown ball by Rich Hewlett. Lofted it up over the defender, led Carter perfectly, corner of the end zone, touchdown. Great play by a lot of people.
Ali Haji Sheikh on the conversion. Hewlett sets it. It's good, and Michigan has taken a 10-3 lead over Northwestern with 3 minutes, 49 seconds left in the second quarter.
I think that's a little bit more like it. And again, I think, the key, the fact that Hewlett threw it so well, and he's supposed to be the option quarterback, the running guy. But here's Carter on the replay. He comes inside. He'll dip inside like it's a post, head fake, and goes outside. Now the ball is perfectly thrown. Right on the number 1, and Anthony Carter scores a touchdown. AC is just outstanding anyway at catching touchdown passes. Last year, he averaged 27.2 yards a catch, and 7 of his 17 receptions were TDs.
Sheikh teeing it up to kick it off. He has a field goal and an extra point so far in this game as Michigan has taken a lead again, overcoming a couple of fumbles and a slippery field after Northwestern had tied it up with a long drive that resulted in a field goal of theirs. Into the corner for Ricky Edwards. Opening up the middle, throw, fumble. Loose ball, but I think it bounced right back to Edwards, and Northwestern will have it at their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Jeff Reeves on the tackle for Michigan. Not a long kickoff, and that gives Northwestern the field position they would normally get if you kick one through the end zone. 20-yard line, first down. Trap play, Mishler comes straight ahead for maybe 4 yards. Andy Canavino knocks him off his feet. It'll be 2nd down and 7, a gain of 3. Northwestern with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in this half to get some of that momentum back that they must have felt when they tied the score at 3-all. And Kerrigan doesn't like the setup at all. Something isn't right. Either that or the Michigan defenders had one pretty well covered. He's going to the sideline to talk to Rick Venturi. On the next series of downs, Northwestern was forced to punt, so we moved to action later in the quarter.
As we see John Wangler coming into the football game, Larry.
He gets quite a hand from the crowd. The popular senior from Royal Oak Shrine High School had some thrilling moments last year, notably the Indiana finish when he and Anthony Carter teamed up for a touchdown with no time left on the clock, and was having a great Gator Bowl until that knee injury late in the second quarter. 1st and 10, Wangler. Handoff, Rick, big opening. 11-yard gain for Lawrence Ricks to the 31-yard line.
We said we see a lot of power football when Wangler's in there. But take another look at it. It's a straight handoff.
No huddle.
There's a big hole. Michigan goes with no huddle. As you see Ricks go through the big hole and break it right up the middle, and let's get back to action.
Quick snap. Wangler complete to Norm Betts. Betts running for the sideline, can't get there. Stop the clock as he is hauled down short of the mark. Michigan still has 1 minute 2 seconds remaining, and that first down will stop the clock.
Michigan going again, though, Larry, without the huddle, so you know they want to get some points on the board here and go in halftime with a little more cushion.
Out to their own 43-yard line. Wangler, 2 plays, 2 first downs. John throwing again to Betts. This time he gets out of bounds after a short gain of a couple. That will suffice to stop the clock, and they can set up another series of plays that they can run without a huddle.
Well, you see the kind of football Michigan will play when John Wangler is in the lineup. Wangler, believe it or not, had 208 yards passing in the Gator Bowl in the second quarter last year, on his way to a Michigan record before that knee injury knocked him out. Wangler will throw as well as anybody in the Big Ten, including Mark Herman. He's got a very strong arm. You see here he goes out, sees the tight end, and lays it in there beautifully right on the numbers. Betts makes a nice reception and battles to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Dave Hoffman rode him out. 2nd and 8. Long throw for Anthony Carter. Right on the numbers, and it bounced away just inside the 20-yard line, and Anthony had split the defenders and was gone if he managed to make that catch.
That's such a tough pass to throw. We'll see it again. Wangler makes a play fake here to the tailback coming in and then sets it up and throws it. He's got to throw it between the free safety coming over and the back covering. And Anthony gets it right on the number, but the ball is knocked out. We see Anthony. He's a straight fly pattern, and you just throw it out. He is beating Piercy Holden, but over comes Anderson to help out. That's a tough pass to throw between the free safety.
3rd and 8. They give it to Ricks again. Some running room. He flips the tackle. Into Northwestern territory. That should be a first down. Bobby Anderson made the hit. Barely enough yardage. That stops the clock with 39 seconds to go. I think we better credit Percy Holden. I think he got an arm in there on Anthony Carter and deflected that football. He was reaching across the body, and I think he did. They're going to measure, but it looked from up here to be a first down. Lawrence Ricks banging ahead. Eyesight is good, huh?
Not bad. Not bad for an old guy.
10-3. Michigan leads first half. Time running out, however.
There's just great running by Lawrence Ricks. He sees the hole develop. He breaks it outside, runs right underneath the tackle there, and is headed for the gate when Anderson comes up to make the hit.
John Wangler tries to scramble out of trouble, but Chuck Kern made a good move on the blitz, wrapped him up, wrestled him down, and the clock ticks as Michigan turns the ball over.
The injury last year in the Gator Bowl has limited his mobility somewhat, Larry, and I think we saw an indication of that there.
Wangler over the middle. Anthony Carter got a blocker. Called down from behind, and Michigan calls timeout. Bobby Anderson just close enough to catch Anthony. 4 seconds left on the clock. Michigan down at the Northwestern 34-yard line.
Anderson is covering, but Wangler threads the needle. Right on the numbers, on the fly. Anthony, if he can get by Anderson, he makes probably about another 20 more yards. It's a straight short post over the middle, and beats Anderson. He beats rather Holden, and if he could just break those two guys. Anderson is a great player, one of the best freshmen in the Big Ten last year, Anderson comes over and makes the hit. If Anthony could have broke that, he might have gone the distance.
Holden is a freshman, and he was protecting the outside. So the little fake that Anthony gave him was all he needed. He was saying, I'm not going to let you get to the corner on me.
He said, I don't want to see a fly pattern down the sideline.
Exactly. And Anthony cut back across the middle. They didn't expect that, and it really worked.
Well, it's a play that's kind of designed to do that, too. You know, they defensively, they don't want to give him the bomb, so they run a short post up the middle. And Carter really did, if he could have gotten through the free safety Anderson, he might have do it as Sheik comes on.
52 yards if he makes this one with 4 seconds to go. Schembechler gambling on 3. Sheik hits it and won't get there. But the clock runs out. That's the end of the first half of play from Michigan Stadium with the Wolverines on top of the Wildcats 10-3. Jim, a 10-3 score at halftime, not the kind of thing you might expect in a Michigan-Northwestern game. A few mistakes for Michigan and a pretty good effort by Northwestern.
I think the key about the mistakes, they were few, but they were also critical in that they fumbled the ball and gave Northwestern a chance to get a little ball control going, get a little confidence back, which enabled them to kind of stay in the ball game. And I think Michigan, those mistakes, even though there were a few of them, they were critical ones at critical times.
Michigan's statistical numbers look pretty good, although I'm sure Bo would like more than 198-yard total.
The statistics do not look like a halftime game. Michigan should be dominating 13-5 in first downs. They have completed more passes and they have gotten more yardage. They've rushed for more. They got total yards, but the key there, 2 turnovers, 2 fumbles, critical times when Michigan was driving for touchdowns. In other words, they haven't been able to capitalize and get points on the board. They've done a lot of things between the 20s, but the 2 turnovers have cost them chances at getting points. And that's what you're after anyway, scoring touchdowns.
Well, at the bottom of that column is what disappoints Bo Schembechler. The touchdown is what makes him happy. And as you said, Lawrence Ricks critical, in addition to Rich Hewlett, the thrower, and Anthony Carter, the catcher.
Well, the whole team played well on that particular play, the touchdown that they scored. It was a play-action pass, but Ricks picked up linebacker Chuck Kern right there, and he just knocked him down and stopped the blitz. Carter made a great reception. Hewlett made a great throw right on the numbers, led him perfectly, and that was the only touchdown of the game as AC gets his second catch of the half, one of them for a TD, so he's 50%, not bad.
Michigan fans would like to see more of that in the second half, and the players are lined up for that second half kickoff now. Michigan again kicking off to Northwestern. The Wolverines won the toss, you remember, and chose to kick off. It worked. Got them an early field goal, and Sheik will attempt it again. Here as the second half gets underway. Deep to make the reception is Hill. Hill is nailed at the 14-yard line. Gergash, who is usually first man down on these kicks, making the tackle with help from Jeff Cohen, Michigan's Jeff Cohen. First down and 10, Northwestern at their own 15-yard line, and the day has improved considerably.
Interesting to look at in the second half. Will Northwestern open it up a bit? Will they try for the big play? Will they go to their great wide receiver, Todd Sheets? That's the question Rick Venturi you have to ask.
Back shift into an I formation. Cohen is not in there. Instead, it is number 1. Percy Holden. Nope, that's number 5. Kenny Watkins, number 1, the running back from Detroit Redford High School, a freshman. And I wonder if Northwestern's Jeff Cohen is bruised and out of the lineup.
Well, it might be either that or Venturi decides he wants a little bit of versatility going in there, running your running backs in, keeping them fresh.
2nd and 5. Mishler is the only man behind quarterback Kerrigan now. Mishler bangs straight ahead. Very short yardage. Robert Thompson, the tackle for Michigan. So the Wildcats are uncovering their number 1. 5'11", 173-pound running back. Kenny Watkins. He is in the backfield with Mishler the fullback, and Watkins now goes deep in the I with receivers split out to the left. Kerrigan to Watkins. Around the end. Slips a couple of tacklers. The 31-yard line. Mike Body. Marion Body makes the tackle for Michigan, driving him out of bounds. Gergash also over there, and look at young Watkins. He is really excited about that run.
He is excited, and you can tell he has great speed. He gets around the corner in a hurry, sees it's all tied up inside, turns the corner, beats Canavino and Thompson, finally knocked down by Body and shoved out of bounds by Gergash.
1st and 10 at the 31-yard line of Northwestern as they start the third quarter trailing 10-3. Again, Watkins. Picked up about 5.
Fumbled and recovered his own fumble. He was hit going down. I believe it was Gergash over there, and fumbled the ball, but managed to get on top of it. Northwestern impressive here in the early going of the second half in that they're running.
This youngster, they're saving him for a second half explosion.
Yeah.
There, the ball is nailed and stripped out of there, and that's Bill Gerber, their center, falling right on it. He was just right man, right time.
Johnny on the spot. He's downfield blocking and saw the ball drop loose and was right on top of it.
Pickup of 4. 2nd down and 6, Northwestern. Ball is at their own 36-yard line. Jeff Cohen, their running back over the first half, impressed me. They got another one. I formation. Split end and a wing back to the right. Mishler straight ahead to the 40-yard line. Near a first down, but not quite. They'll have 2 yards to go. 3rd and 2. Canavino looking for defensive signals to the Michigan sideline. Bill McCartney, the man on the headsets, making the arm signals to let Canavino know how he wants this defense to set up.
Maybe Watkins, as we talk about the Northwestern offense, see him come out, is a better breakaway runner. Maybe he's a better threat offensively, whereas Cone a better all-around back.
Watkins gets the call and is close to the first down. Mike Turgovac stacked it up. Nicolau giving him some help. Also on the bottom, Tony Kelsey, number 97. They are looking, but they're going to have to come across and measure.
Another question let's ask here before we get started as Northwestern measures for this first down is Michigan's offense, when they get the ball, will they come out with Wangler or will they come out with Hewlett? Because Wangler was very good there near the end of the first half, and we may see him in there. There's the measurement, and it is about a half a yard short. Maybe less than a half a yard. So my eyes aren't as good as yours. You don't have to complain.
4th and 1. And at this point, 3rd down and 1. Right the first time. They're going to go for it with this kind of field position. 4th down. It's really less than a yard to go. Kerrigan, quarterback sneaks, and he didn't get much at all. But perhaps enough. He didn't need much.
He needed maybe a foot and a half, and that's as good as play to any is run on 3rd down. And the charge of the center, I think, got him the first down.
Bill Gerber, a junior center, and Bill Drasnick, the right guard, gave him just enough room to make that one work. First and 10, Northwestern. Took the 3rd quarter kickoff to start the second half, and they have moved the ball rather smartly on the legs of Kenny Watkins, number 1. Watkins again. Canavino got through and got him around the ankles. He hurtled into the pile, but there won't be much more than a yard gain on that play.
That's just a great play by Canavino, and that he took on the guard, got through the offensive guard, and got into the backfield and just looked to grab legs. An outstanding play by Canavino, who led Michigan in tackles last year. He just takes on a guard, he gets rid of the guard and grabs the legs of the running back and knocks him after a gain of only 1. Outstanding linebacker play from Canavino.
2nd and 9 at the Northwestern 43-yard line. Backs move into an I behind Kerrigan, the quarterback, who has not thrown nearly as much as you might expect for the way the weather is now. Motion in the Michigan defensive line, but he got back in time. And there's a throw that is complete over the middle. Andy North. And he is close to the first down. Doesn't have it, but close. Penalty flag down.
I think we're going to have unnecessary roughness or unsportsmanlike conduct on Michigan for a late hit. The tight end comes out of the backfield, or rather comes out of the line of scrimmage underneath the linebackers, and it's kind of one of those possum plays. He's running across there, and he takes a lot of time. He's got a linebacker to beat. Now, Gergash makes the original hit. He slips out of it. Now watch Thompson come through. There's late hit. That cost 15.
That is Steve Kaiser. I didn't identify him correctly. The tight end from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. One that got away. 6'6", 225, and a sophomore who played at Brother Rice.
Under Al Fracassa, former Michigan State University quarterback.
1st and 10 on the penalty for Northwestern. Only this time it's at the Michigan 34-yard line. And a wingback, Mishler to the right. That play broken down. Loose ball. Kerrigan ran it right out of there. He was supposed to be somewhere and make a handoff. Didn't happen, and he ad-libbed and got a gain of about 6 on the play.
Busted play, no question about it. It looks like one of the backs missed a hole. He comes out and reverse pivots, and there's no back there. He actually gets hit by the pulling guard on a quick trap, and the hole was there. If the back would have gotten there, they might have had a bigger hole. Here's Canavino. Kenny Brown was the guy who knocked the quarterback off. There's Canavino. He thought he had the ball carrier. He thought he had the ball carrier on a busted play. It didn't happen that way, and Kerrigan goes for good yardage.
2nd and 4, and they hand off straight ahead to Mishler, and he gets a couple. Maybe the necessary yardage to the 24-yard line before Robert Thompson wraps him up and brings him down, along with Paul Gergash. Oh, Schembeckler not at all pleased with this drive. It's the kind of drive he likes to see his Michigan teams make. Time running off the clock and consistent progress. Northwestern having started this one back at their own 15-yard line. Quarterback sneak to try to get that half a yard they needed for the first down, and it looks like Kerrigan has done it again. Junior quarterback from Chicago showing a lot of poise here. In fact, after being bumped by his own pulling guard, ad-libbing a play, making it all work. Going to measure to see if this one is a first down.
I think the key to the drive so far, Larry, is that they've done so well on first down plays. They're looking at a 2nd and 4, a 2nd and 5, rather than 2nd and 8, which, you know, kind of limits you to what you can do offensively. And their first down yardage, as we see them chalking up another first down in this drive, their play selection and their yardage gained on first down has really been the key, in that they haven't had to go to anything special to try to get it done on 2nd and 3rd.
Well, it is now 1st and 10 at the Michigan 24-yard line. Northwestern on the move in the 3rd quarter with the Wolverines in front of the Wildcats, 10-3. Northwestern driving to try to score. Bahoric in motion. Watkins gets the handoff. Penalty flag is down as Watkins is twisted out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. Turgovac is there. Jeff Cohen is there. Keith Bostic over to help out for Michigan.
The play was thrown in the middle of the interference, which would make you think it was holding, and that's what it was. So a break for Michigan, or a mistake by Northwestern, which really hurts. They have done so well on the ground, surprisingly, against the Wolverines in this drive, and a big 15-yarder puts them back on the Wolverine 39, whereas they were on their way to inside the 20.
Almost forces them to throw the ball now.
The flag is thrown in the interference part. Both guards are out there. Michigan is spreading the play out, and we cannot tell who the interference or who held. We do see Turgovac coming over from the backside tackle, shows his quickness for being a big guy at over 230.
1st and 25 now. The back shift. A lot of receivers out, as you can expect. Kerrigan, but no. Straight ahead of the fullback.
I'm somewhat surprised. First down play. First down and what? 25 and...
Looking for the big opening.
Yeah.
Figuring Michigan to fall back, do all the pass coverage, and maybe you can spring Mishler for 10 or 15 and get that penalty yardage back.
When you're 1st and 25, you got to figure on getting 8 or so on your first down just to get you back in the ballpark. And I don't think that was a play they figured it'd get 8.
Well, it got 2. 2nd and 23 at the 37. Kerrigan will throw on this down. Overthrows Mishler, and they had a little screen set up that might have gotten them back to 3rd and 10 anyway.
Good pressure by Robert Thompson forced him, I think, to throw it a little bit early and also overthrow him. So, again, credit the Michigan defensive linebacker, the outside linebacker Thompson, for kind of forcing that one to go a little bit early and really ruin a good play.
But even if they don't score, this drive has consumed 8 minutes of the 3rd quarter. That in itself is a pretty good defensive weapon. You keep the ball away from Michigan. 3rd and 23 for Northwestern. Todd Sheets will get particular attention on this play. Northwestern's fine receiver who has yet to catch one. Kerrigan throws for him. Intercepted. Poorly thrown ball a little bit behind the intended receiver, and Brian Carpenter picked it off for Michigan.
Let's just put it this way. Todd Sheets had Carpenter beaten. If the ball was thrown properly, and you never throw the long ball short. You see Kerrigan going back, and he lets go kind of a wounded duck. Sheets has the defender beat, you can see, but there's Carpenter going up, and he has a great job holding onto the football. Here's Sheets in isolation. He is by Carpenter right there. If the ball is thrown, that's a touchdown. But Carpenter makes the interception on the underthrown ball. Michigan's got it with Hewlett at quarterback.
First down, 5-yard line. Straight ahead for Edwards. Got to get it away from your goal line. Stanley gets 4. On the next series of downs, Michigan was forced to punt, so we move ahead to action later in the quarter. The backs are split behind Kerrigan on this 1st and 10 situation. Man in motion, Todd Jenkins. Give is to Watkins on the right side. Didn't get the block on the corner as Marion Body stayed with it and made the tackle. Gain of 3. I saw Marion Body play high school football, Jim, at Kettering. He was the quarterback in a backfield that featured Stanley Edwards.
That's not a bad backfield. He's now playing defense, makes a great play. The play actually gets outside Owens, 53, but Body beats the block of Bill Drasnick. He beats the block of a big offensive guard to come up and make the play.
2nd down, 6 yards to go for Northwestern at the Michigan 25-yard line. Northwestern down by 7, but on the move. Mishler gets 2, diving straight ahead. It is a conservative plan of Rick Venturi, but it is a plan that is working well, especially in the second half.
I think he's showing incredible confidence in the offensive line in that they can handle the vaunted Michigan defensive front. And he has controlled the football for the entire 3rd quarter except for 3 plays.
Third down and 4. The crowd begins to make some noise as they have the full house backfield with Sheets, who drops up onto the right flank. Now it's a more conventional lineup, and Kerrigan, loud front over the middle to Sheets. There's your first down and a lot more. Good block coming back as Sheets is banged out of bounds, finally inside the 10-yard line.
Caught him in a blitz. They caught him in a blitz, and Sheets, who is a wide receiver with great speed, comes off the line of scrimmage, and Kerrigan recognized it and just lost it open to Sheets, who had nobody to cover him, as Michigan was sending everybody anticipating the pass. There's the good block. Sheets gets an extra couple of yards with that block. Here's Canavino coming in. He is free and clear. He gets hit, and there's the pass. They recognized the blitz, and Sheets was off to the races inside the Michigan 10.
First and goal, Northwestern. Watkins slicing down to the 5-yard line. Going off the left side. 33 seconds left in the third quarter. Northwestern dominant in this quarter.
That sounds amazing.
We said it earlier. Last year, it was a 16-7 victory for Ohio State, an Ohio State team that is considered great and went undefeated through the regular season, and that's the margin that they beat Northwestern by. Purdue managed to just nip Northwestern 26-20 late in the game. And now Northwestern on the verge of tying Michigan here. Well, it would be the fourth quarter by the time they put the touchdown up, because the clock has just expired as far as three quarters are concerned, with the Wildcats at the Michigan 6-yard line, and the score, Michigan 10, Northwestern 3. 15 minutes of football left here in Ann Arbor. Northwestern threatening right now at the 6-yard line of the Wolverines. Mike Kerrigan has been the quarterback all the way, a junior from Chicago. Not throwing as often as we expected, but throwing well when he has. Hill joins him in the backfield now. Tim Hill, 23. Kerrigan, and a rollout to Mishler. A race for the corner. Michigan gets there in time. Keith Bostic, but it's at the 1-yard line.
Well-conceived play in that they overload, expect Michigan to gamble, and they just run the fullback out into the flat and dump it off. Michigan will gamble. You see him coming from the outside. The blitz is picked up. Mishler is just running in the flat. Get him open, give him some room. He heads for the corner, and Bostic makes the play to stop the guy from going in the end zone.
Third and goal from the 1-yard line. Northwestern will have 2 shots at it from here. The noise level will be tough on them now. Mishler dives in for the touchdown. Oh, and the Wildcats are excited.
They are an excited group of kids from Evanston, Illinois. Never expected to be in this ball game, and here they are, 1 point behind Michigan with 14 minutes, 13 seconds left to play.
Jay Anderson is the man who attempts the conversions for Northwestern, faced with the opportunity to tie the score. Gary Moeller signals his defense. Bo Schembecker just walks away down the sideline.
Maybe we'll see Wangler next drive.
Point after is good, and we do have a tie score. 10-10 with 14-13 left to play. The fourth quarter to play, essentially, as Jay Anderson prepares to kick off. Stanley Edwards and Anthony Carter hiding behind Edwards are the deep men for Michigan. Well, Anderson didn't like the setup, and he moves it just a little more.
Yeah, that's like a golfer.
Key that
winner rules. The reason Edwards and Carter stand in that tandem is so that they can get Carter the football. They won't kick it away from him.
And he has it at the 4-yard line. Hurdles a couple of tacklers at the 30-yard line and slides to a halt just short of the 40. They are going to say, however, it's the 34 for the run back. About 28 or 9 yards on the run back by Anthony Carter.
Anthony Carter is just a great athlete. He's one of the best kick returners because when he gets the ball, he is at full speed and heads up the middle. He doesn't make too much move left or right. Here he hurdles one guy. If he could have kept his feet, we might have seen him go a long, long way.
Michigan was unable to move the football, so we pick up action later in the quarter. First and 10 Wildcats as they come out at their own 21-yard line. Watkins now going all the way in the backfield as they have just left Jeff Cohn out. Dave Calloway is the fullback, and Mishler is out. Kenny Watkins. Fumble. Michigan recovers the ball. Michigan recovers at the 22, 23-yard line. Andy Canavino coming out with the ball. Very, very big break for the Wolverines.
Down deep in the territory. Here's the play. He hurdles. Watkins hurdles over and is hit right there by number 50. 53 Owens is the guy that causes the fumble. Here's Canavino. Now he's coming over. He beats the block, He sees the ball loose, drops right in front of him, and he's on top of it.
Lawrence Ricks is the tailback behind Stanley Edwards. Rich Hewlett, the quarterback. Option play. Edwards straight ahead. Got the 5 back almost. Second down and a little more than 10. We'll have to say 11.
I got to believe Bo's setting him up with something. He wants to run the option, so he's kind of keeping it between tackle to tackle, hoping he could break the big one when he calls it.
Hewlett, lots of time. Shovels one out for Betts and incomplete. 3rd and 10 or 11.
Well, the umbrellas are down, but the boos are out as Rich Hewlett, a sophomore from Plymouth-Salem High School, is getting his baptism of unrest. And I'm sure Schembechler is not too happy with what's happening out here right now, too, as Michigan had the big chance after the fumble recovery and have yet been able to capitalize.
At the Northwestern 24-yard line, it is 3rd and 11. Hewlett to the corner for Carter. There is not much better insurance than Anthony Carter, the man to go to when you need it, and they got all 24, 23 in one pass. Hewlett hits Carter for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
He is just something else. Before the game said, Bo probably shouldn't play him because they won't need him. Boy, if he weren't here today, Michigan would be down 10-3. Anthony Carter, another great reception, and give Hewlett credit. He made another great pass, and Lawrence Rick picked up the blitz again.
Haji Sheik with a conversion. Hewlett holds. It's good, and Michigan has taken a 17-10 lead with 10:59 left to play in the game. Kenny Watkins, number 1. One of the defense for Northwestern. Tony Hill and number 3, Ricky Edwards, and that's Ricky Edwards getting up over the 25, 27-yard line, perhaps before Paul Gergash can collide with him. And a Michigan player a little slow getting up. It is Gergash. That's the collision, I think. 21 yards on the return.
Michigan took 3 plays to go there 23 yards after the fumble. The first 2 weren't what you'd call outstanding, and it only took them 24 seconds. They've got the lead.
1st and 10 Northwestern at their 27-yard line. Mishler back at fullback, and he gets the call, but very little yardage. We pick up the action later in the quarter with Northwestern in possession. 4th and 3 as Canavino rallies the Michigan defense. Kerrigan talks to the Northwestern offense. Cone is the back. We have not seen Kenny Watkins, the freshman, who was impressive in the 3rd quarter. Mishler, who has been a workhorse all day, has been replaced by Dave Calloway. Venturi does have some reserves. Looks like they plan to throw, with players spread all over the field. Only one back behind Kerrigan. 4th and 3. Over the middle, knocked away. Great defensive penalty flag is down. I'm calling Robert Thompson's job great defense, and a penalty flag is down. Pass interference got to be against the defense the way the Michigan defenders are looking. Pass thrown just a little behind him, and Thompson seemed to cover it pretty well. But that will get Northwestern a 1st down. 1st down at the 8-yard line of Michigan. Mishler back in. Wrapped up, but he gets a couple. Canavino, Owens, and others. Keith Bostic also there. A yard is all they give him. 2nd and 7. Yards get tougher to come by, but Northwestern, with the 1 break on the penalty, has kept this one going.
And we're running out of time. 3:36 left. Larry, on the goal line, if they come out in that formation with 3 quick receivers, look for the pass. Sheets is in there.
2nd and 7 at the 7. from Kerrigan. Sacked at the 20-yard line. Nobody open, and the Michigan defenders time to get through. Robert Thompson playing a fine defensive game, kind of makes up for the penalty that he just incurred.
They went into an I formation with two wide receivers, not that trips formation, and Michigan's defensive backs caused this because nobody was open. He has time, but here comes Robert Thompson through the inside. Kerrigan has no place to go. Thompson, who's been on a lot of big plays this afternoon, makes one big mistake, comes back a play later, and makes up for it, pushes the Wildcats back to the 20.
Take it to 19, and they're going to call a timeout and talk over this one. 3rd down and 19 to go.
Okay, a key. We may not want to talk about it now, but it might come into play later if Northwestern does get in. That is the last timeout Northwestern has. So the Wildcats trailing by 7 with 2 minutes, 37 seconds left to go. If they do get in, they don't have any time left. So they're kind of playing right now to get into the end zone. They can't call a timeout. If they don't get in, Michigan can run out the clock.
3rd and 19. Northwestern will have to find a receiver open somewhere if they're going to get to the goal line. 2 shots at it with 2.5 minutes to play in the game. 17-10, Michigan leads. Kerrigan, no fooling anybody, got a pass. In and out of the hands of Bohoric at the 10. That wouldn't have been enough anyway. Now it's 4th and 19.
This is the ball game. Play action. The fake freezes the linebackers and allows Kerrigan to get outside. You see Thompson chasing, Turkovac chasing, sees the receiver, fires it in there, but the ball thrown a little too hard, gets through the hands. Bostic, if he'd have known it was going to be deflected, could have come up with the interception. But the ball thrown a little bit behind him, the wet field, the feet slipping out from under him, did not allow that to be completed, and we're here at 4th down. This is it.
Ball game for Northwestern. 4th and 19 from the 19. Over the middle. Sheets intercepted by Canavino. Sheets, the intended receiver, but Canavino was there. They had him at least double covered.
What a great play by Canavino. But I look over at the Northwestern sideline, and one of the great moments there, as the offense came off, obviously totally, terribly dejected, Rick Venturi was standing there with his right arm raised in a fist, saying, hey, guys, you did a great job. Here's the play. They had a post pattern. Canavino takes a great drop, just plays center field and steps in front of the receiver, makes the catch, and downs it smartly, so Michigan gets the ball on the 20. There's the post pattern from Sheets down the middle, and Canavino, just playing center field, steps in front and makes the interception.
Wangler in at quarterback. His cadence confused Northwestern. They jumped offside. That'll get Michigan 5 yards, give them a 1st and 5, but nothing runs off the clock. There were 3 players, Marion Body, Keith Bostic, and Canavino, all back around Sheets. You got to go to your #1 man, but you got to know that the defense is going to look for him too.
Defensively, smart play by Michigan there, and that they kept a lot of people back to clog up the end zone.
1st and 5 at the 25. Wangler gives to Edwards. Hang on. Lawrence Ricks is going to be the tailback. Edwards gets a 1.5 yards. Call it 2. It'll be 2nd down and 3 yards to go as the clock ticks away. And Northwestern cannot stop it. As you pointed out, they took those timeouts on the 4th downs to try to keep the drive and make it work. Now Michigan can let it go.
And they'll take all 25 seconds.
Ricks gets the handoff this time and bowls his way through for the 1st down. That'll stop the clock.
You can see the field still wet. Lawrence Ricks asking for a towel so he can keep his hands dry, because right now what's critical is to hold on to the football. The last thing Michigan wants to do here is make a mistake. When you see the runners going through the line of scrimmage, you will see both hands on the ball. You won't see any arms flailing like they're going out for an 85-yard jaunt.
Nor will you see Wangler passing. Butch Wolfo hanging on. A lot of tacklers ride him out of bounds. 34-yard line. Barely any gain there, and that should stop the clock, but it hadn't stopped.
The referee ruled, I think, that he was down inbounds.
His progress had stopped inbounds. Got to be a frustrating afternoon for Northwestern, on the verge of one of the biggest upsets in their school's history. And an intercepted pass cost them. 2nd down and 10. Edwards gets the call and a yard. 47 seconds to go. Third down and 9 will be the situation for a Michigan offense that is just getting a couple of appearances on the field, and they have barely played 6 plays to this point in the half. Northwestern even having the edge in first downs thanks to those 2 long drives they put together in this half.
Take a look at the statistics following this game, and I'll bet some money you think Northwestern won.
12 seconds to play. The last play of the game. John Wangler going to take the penalty on that one all the way down to 7. A 5-yard delay of game penalty, and I imagine he'll fall on the ball. John Wangler takes it, falls on it, and the crowd will count this one off. It's over. A huge crowd at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor breathes a sigh of relief as the Wolverines escape an upset or a tie and defeat Northwestern 17-10. 17-10, Michigan over Northwestern. The Wildcats may not have won this game, but they certainly proved that they are a capable team.
I think they earned the respect of a lot of people, including Michigan. This week, Michigan has got to go to work like you can't believe on both defense and offense, because really they did not look that impressive today. And when they meet the Irish, it's going to be a lot different competition. Northwestern, I think, played an outstanding game. They may win some games in the Big Ten this year.
Michigan looked to be an easy winner, looked to run the football. Instead, they are saved by the arm of Rich Hewlett and the catches of Anthony Carter.
The thing that amazed me is that we said Carter might not play, and they don't need him against Northwestern. Without Anthony Carter, Michigan loses the game. And I think that Northwestern dominated the entire game in the second half. A lot of work next week.
Some question marks still remain for Michigan. And, of course, next week we'll be looking for some answers. Be sure to join us next week when the Michigan Wolverines travel to South Bend, Indiana to take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Once again, the final score here today, Michigan 17, Northwestern 10. The executive producer of On TV Sports is Rocky Flinterman. Our director is Chuck Wasiluk. The assistant director has been Bob Stackpool. Our associate producer, John Toohey. Stage manager, Michael Smith. This has been a sports presentation of National Subscription Television.
Deaths today.
Poor Bob.
Yeah.
Game could have been produced in Hollywood. Just an
Could have.
unbelievable.
And guess who went to Notre Dame and has got a smile on his face?
Well, yeah,
One of all of these. Because there are
a nice man, good coach, and what a heartbreaker to lose this ball game today. Let's go back a year. Last year, Notre Dame won, blocking a field goal attempt as time ran out. They won it by 2 points. Today, the situation very won by 2. Let's look at some of the scoring. The Irish opened it up on this touchdown run by Phil Carter.